we can now go across to Gaza and speak to Bahaa Zaqout, a resident of Deir al-Balah. Bahaa, thank you for joining us on the program. When you and I spoke 2 weeks ago or so, you told me how basic goods in Gaza were so expensive. Has anything improved since then?
Yes, thank you, Delano, for having me again in this channel. So, unfortunately, Delano, as everyone is stating now, Gaza is in a huge need for all supplies, for all goods. Yes, there were some attempts to enter different aid trucks, and there were some airdrops for in different areas in Gaza Strip, but still. We must understand that we are currently witnessing famine unfolding in real time in Gaza, and this is well documented in all the reports of the UN agencies and specialized food security platforms. There is a famine that is currently unfolding in Gaza, and what was allowed to enter into Gaza doesn't cover anything for the people of Gaza. Now, according to the UN, it is estimated that that Gaza require per month around 62,000 metric ton of food on a monthly basis. But unfortunately, what was entered doesn't cover 19,000 metric ton, which is not enough in normal situation, not along for not entering food and food items and other needed materials for more than 80 days. This 19,000 metric ton were allowed after 80 days of complete blockade on Gaza Strip.
Baha, have the airdrops changed anything at all? We have seen countries airdropping aid into Gaza. Has that changed anything?
To be completely honest with you, we deeply appreciate all the goodwill of the countries that attempted to provide the airdrops. But to be honest, airdrop isn't in Gaza is neither safe nor effective, because I think you have heard before, or you have seen that the media footages that a huge portion of the airdrops are dropped in militarized zones, which poses a huge risk on the people trying to obtain these drops, while the other part of the airdrops are dropped in heavily populated areas. Now, Gaza Strip is there are 2.2 million people in Gaza living in only 12% of the Gaza Strip. So there is no safe space left for airdrops. I think that, and all of our colleagues in the humanitarian sector agree with this, that all aid parachutes fall on displaced people, causing injuries, fatalities, and even the destruction of tents and infrastructure. And we have witnessed this from different documented media and videos.
Now, Israel says it will allow goods to be sold on the private market. If that happens, the risk is that prices continue to remain high, right?
Yes, this is one of the risks that we are anticipating. But unfortunately, even if the prices went down, unfortunately, it's been more than 22 months, and people in Gaza do not have any source of income for more than 22 months. And even those who have some savings or who still have a fixed source of income, they were depleted by these 22 months. Depleted by the high prices in the market, by the extremely insane commission that they are forced to pay to withdraw their money. So this is a good step on the track, but still it doesn't solve any challenge that is facing the vulnerable people in Gaza Strip.
But, France and some other countries in Europe say, even Canada, say they're going to recognize Palestine in September at the UN conference, at the General Assembly in September. Does that change anything for you, a resident of Gaza, or does the war need to stop first for anything to change for you?
Our priority is for the war to stop.
Yeah.
This is number one priority for all of us in Gaza, for our children, for our families, for all of us to be safe. Then we can talk about the peace building and we can talk about the recognition of Palestine as a nation. So our number one priority is to stop the war.
Now, Benjamin Netanyahu could potentially unveil a plan to expand the military operation in Gaza once again. Now, central Gaza, where you are, could be impacted. You are in central Gaza. Do you have a plan in place of what you're going to do if you have to move?
Personally, I do not have a plan. I won't move because I have been displaced for 11 times. So I will not go through this suffering again. I will not leave because I do not have the luxury of moving. I do not have any place to go to. So I'm gonna stay in my house, in my house in Deir al-Balah, and I will not be able to move. Because when they talked about expanding the military operation, they were talking about Gaza City, Deir al-Balah, or the central Gaza in general. So there will be no place for all of us to go. So we will only have the choice of remaining where we are and wait for our death.
Bahaa, how many children do you have?
I have two children.
Uh,
5-year-old son and 3 years old daughter.
and if you have to move just for their sake, you won't risk. You won't do it to. I don't know. I don't know. As a parent, to be in that sort of situation, I'm sure it's a tough call to make. I understand your frustration having to do it 11 times. It's not easy with two children, I'm sure, but you've given it thought.
I can't. I've given it much thought, but this is for their best because every time we move for the 11th time, every time we lose something, we lose part of our dignity, we lose part of our comfort. So I think that we are fed up from continuous displacement and movement, and I think that this will even affect my children at the psychological level because they are keep moving constantly. But the worst thing is that even if I decided to move, where should I go? Because Mawasi Khan Yunis is the only safe place or so-called safe place, but still there is no. One single meter in Mawasi is empty and can accommodate even a tent. So I don't think that we have the privilege to move. We don't have even the capacity and the resources to move. Even if I wanted to move and I wanted to buy, for example, a tent, it's not available in the local market. I do not have any resources to build a sort of shelter for my children. So I think it's gonna be better for all of us just to stay and just pray to Allah that we will survive this.
Well, all I can say is I hope you and your family stay safe, and you and I will be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.